Welcome to the NLX podcast, The Extra Mile. NLX is Network Lead Exchange Extra Mile, and I'm here with one of our founding members, Bob Mitchie from Metro MSP. Bob is the president and CEO of Metro MSP, and today we're going to talk about business email compromise, which is near and dear to each one of our hearts.
Absolutely.
Bob, I don't think people understand. Well, I think some of them do because some of them have been stung already and have been compromised. But the ones that haven't, tell us a little bit about how important, protecting your email is.
So I don't know if you've ever thought about it, Bruce, but your email account really is the keys to your life. And if the bad guys get into your email account, what can they really use it for? That account probably has set up messages or alerts from every single online account that you use. It might even be used for multi-factor authentication in some cases to validate that you can log into your cloud account, or to reset your cloud account, your online account passwords. So if you had, say, a Salesforce account that was linked to your regular email account, and the bad guys got into your email account, they could potentially go to Salesforce and say, reset the password. And it comes over to your email account, and because they're already logged in, they hit OK, you put in a new password, and now you've lost access to your account.
Wow. People don't realize that. Okay.
And that took about 3 seconds for that person to get that done.
Correct.
So if they go through and harvest that information, they're now taking over all your online accounts.
I don't think people understand how easy, number one, how easy it is to do that, okay? Number two, they probably feel like that's never going to happen to me.
Sure.
Because I have Microsoft Office 365, or I have Gmail or one of the other email providers, and they're securing me, which I don't think is true.
Nah, the Office 365 or G Suite with their two-step verification or multi-factor authentication, depending on it's the same. It's two names for the same thing. That's really protecting the initial logins to the computer. But if you get a phishing email, and you get that pop-up that says, "Okay, I'm going to go. I need you to log in again." A lot of people will just click the login, type in their information. Now they've given away their username and password to the bad guys.
And they're thinking that it is either Gmail or Office or whoever it is that's accessing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much how most of the phishing accounts are getting, phishing compromises are happening. So people are actually actively giving away that information, or there's other cases where people are clicking on stuff, downloading it, and it's getting intercepted. But the bulk of the cases we're seeing are they were phished, and they actively gave away the keys to the kingdom. And without multi-factor authentication on, it just makes it that much easier.
So that means they have access to every single email that they've either taken in or sent if they have access to their email inbox.
Yeah. And how big is your mailbox?
Oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
So, and that's the thing, a standard Office 365 account now is 50 gig of mail. That's a lot of mail.
Right.
And depending on the type of account you have and when the compromise happened, we might have to assume that every email in your account's been compromised and read by the bad guys. Absolutely. So, we saw one last week where a person was, they were using, they had an Office 365 account. They weren't using that for email. They were using an old Earthlink account.
I didn't even know Earthlink was still around.
Either did I. And Earthlink didn't even support multi-factor authentication.
Oh, wow.
So this guy's account got compromised, and he lost access to multiple online services because the bad guys just kept using it. He was away on vacation. Somehow the bad guys he either got phished or his password was compromised one way or another. And it just got really bad. His drive up from the Jersey Shore to his home up here, it was like he was on the phone with me asking for help, almost pleading for help. He pulled over at one point, and I did a quick look on his PC while he was sitting on at a Parkway rest stop to give him some help. But the other thing about passwords that I didn't mention was always use different passwords. Don't have one same password you're using everywhere. Don't put numbers after the password because the bad guys do it. The bad guys can think too. And there's the we can do another call sometime and actually talk about what's available out on the dark web. But I can go to Underground Forums today and do a simple search for any email account that's sitting out there to see if it's been involved in other data breaches. And when people use the same password everywhere, I now have a username and password to try everywhere else.
Well, I think that's a valuable service right there for everybody to know about, though, Bob. I mean, really, because I would want to, I'm definitely going to do that with you. I mean, I want to know because that's, when you have a program like that or software that can you run and see this is valuable information to let them know right now.
Absolutely. And, a lot of people, we actually have a monitoring service just for monitoring the dark web to give you alerts if your accounts are showing up out there in there. But people come back to me and say, okay, well, it's there. What do we do about it? Well, we can't make data go away. But we can, if you know to change those passwords and move on and never use the same ones.
So many people don't know where is the safest place when you have so many passwords. Like I have hundreds of passwords. You do too. I mean, look, I'm in digital marketing, so I have passwords for clients.
Sure.
I mean that I have to store. Where's the safest place to actually store those passwords?
I recommend putting them into a password manager. People are concerned about the way the password managers work. In fact, this week there was a potential data breach with LastPass, where there was somebody got into the code, but I don't think, from what I've seen, it hasn't affected or compromised any data. The absolute safest place probably is that 3-ring binder on your desk because it is an offline solution, but that's not feasible feasible in long term. It really is. Use a password manager because one of the great features of the password manager is, you said you've got client accounts. Now, we don't recommend sharing accounts with anybody, but if you need to share usernames and passwords with somebody, you can actually do it inside the password manager and never send that password via email.
Oh, that's one thing that I don't do at all. I never have my clients send me a password via email. They'll either call me on the phone and I write it down, okay, which is the best way to do it. But sometimes they'll text it to me, okay, and I delete the text message immediately. All right, and I know that's an imprint somewhere. Yeah. I know you're going to tell me that that's an imprint somewhere.
Absolutely. The password managers. The shared process of the password manager is great because a lot of these applications now are requiring you to change the password every 30, 60, or 90 days. When you change it in the password manager and you're using the password manager to share it, it automatically gives it to the other person to use. Understood.
Okay. That's terrific. That's good. That's good stuff. All right. Is there any other recommendations for email security that?
From a compromised email, there's so many things that the bad guys can do. What we saw before Christmas was someone got into an account, compromised the email account, wrote some rules in the account so that whenever they interacted with specific clients, the agent never saw the email. It went to a different folder.
Oh, wow.
So the big thing is Office 365, G Suite, they don't have all the appropriate controls turned on out of the box. They've got some basic things turned on, but we will take clients and move them up to a higher service on the 365 platform just so we can put conditional access rules in that say, like, you can't access your account out of the U.S.
Okay.
I mean, believe it or not, the two that I worked on came from Nigeria.
Yeah.
The Nigerian prince
Go figure.
had somebody there. And when you're working with a security provider, you've got to share information about what's going on in your company. Friday night, we got an alert that one of our clients' email was being accessed from France. I think it was France. I was like, no one told me he was traveling. We shut him off.
Okay.
I shut the account off. Within 20 minutes of it connecting, we got an alert because we do real time monitoring of the cloud environments versus just waiting for waiting for it after the fact. And I shut him off. I reached out to his business partner and said, "Oh yeah, he's traveling. He's at a wedding in overseas. Okay, we'll turn him back on."
Okay, simple as that.
It's as simple as that. But
Okay.
But having a team that's actually responding and watching, because these things are always happening over the weekends. The bad guys know that the IT guys, the security guys have to sleep sometime.
Or in the middle of the night. Happens in the middle of the night. Well, yeah, exactly. Yep.
4th of July weekend 2 years ago was a bad weekend for security.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, Bob, I want to thank you very much. This was very good insight as to email security. How does someone get in touch with you, okay, for email consultation?
Email consultation, Bob at metromsp.com. It's Bob at metromsp.com. And if you really want to look at ways to protect your business, check out the blueprint that I got online at 15ways.metromsp.com.
I didn't even know about that. Well, Bob, I got to say one thing about Bob. He's handled all of my clients' emails, and he does an outstanding job. I don't mess around with email, nor will I ever.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right, Bob, thank you so much for being a part of the Extra Mile on NLX.
Absolutely.
Take care.